Cam is, this is his second collection of poetry, the Book of Cold Mountain. He won the Blue Light Book Award, and was a finalist this year in Mark Fisher Poetry Prize for his poem Mule Deer, White-tailed Deer. Cam received his MFA in poetry from the University of Arizona. He's also worked as a writer in residence and teaching artist for Colorado Art Branch, Chiloquin Business in Progress, Playa, and Fishtrap. And as you all know, we all love him here, so please join me in welcoming Cam Scott.
I really like chewing gum. Usually at school I get, most of the kids, they're always telling me I'm not supposed to be chewing gum, but it keeps me going. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. Thank you, Shannon. I'm going to read tonight from the Book of Cold Mountain. And the Book of Cold Mountain, has anybody out there read the Book of Cold Mountain? Awesome. So the Book of Cold Mountain is about Cold Mountain, who was a Chinese hermit living up in the mountains. So envision him up Hurricane Creek, maybe up by Slick Rock in a cave. Okay, it's very awesome in the summertime up there. Day after day, he is writing poems and saying hi to people on the trail, probably bartering, trading, stealing their chocolate bars and things like that. And then when the winter sets in like this, he would go down to the local monastery and wash dishes and get fed. And over time, there have been a lot of people who have translated his poetry. The translation that I read was by Gary Snyder, who is a great Northwest poet.
Still alive, I think.
Still alive, absolutely. And he was living with Jack Kerouac in a cabin during graduate school when he translated these poems. And so I read them, and they kind of opened up my mind in a new way to the outdoors and the wilderness. How many of you like spending time outdoors? Is that good stuff? Is that good stuff? So all of these are persona poems. Who can tell me what a persona poem is? Except for Benjamin Curry, you're not allowed.
Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut.
So a persona poem is taking on the persona of something. Say this lampshade. I could be this lampshade and I say, I feel bright today in the gloom of the afternoon, lighting up the room. Okay, going straight into Aaron Maxwell's heart and lighting his heart up too. Right, a persona poem, taking on the object and becoming that object and thinking what that object feels or thinks on a day-to-day basis. So all of these poems are in the mind frame of Han Shan, this poet living up in the mountains and coming out of the mountains. And there's a little bit of crossover there too, between regular life and not regular life. And the last thing I want to say, how many of you believe that poems are always true? Right? These poems aren't really that true. It's very true that I love Pam Royce back there, but these poems are not.
I love you too, Cam.
Thanks. Thank you. All right. And to further sweeten the pot, for those of you who have not purchased the Book of Cold Mountain yet, there are some broadsides up here of a poem that I'll read later on called Me, You, and Pika. We're shooting for 15 minutes.
No, it's 14.
14. It's like 13. I talked for a couple minutes there. This is called Waking Up with Han Shan. Waking up with Han Shan. Waking up with this voice or persona in my head. When you live on Cold Mountain, your ego is punctured. All of your hot air goes out as the morning rushes in. You must forget about yourself and immerse in the world that moves around you. How awful the bee sting, how painful the thorn in the foot, how artful the soles of your feet when they thicken, and your hands which birth fire when you finally notice the honeycomb reachable in the tree. And this is a poem that, I think the first poem that Mike Midlow, when he picked the book up, read to one of the summer interns. It's called Han Shan's Eyes. In the morning when my eyes are too tired to think about the day ahead, I let them wander off as if on a walk. With a pillow over my head or a t-shirt wrapped around my face like a bandana, I'm never sure where they go. Minutes pass until the alarm brings them back into focus. Some mornings, how delicious to let them slip away for whole hours. They come back sleek as otters from the river. This morning, they flew open 30 minutes before the alarm. Aren't you tired? I asked them. Unable to focus, they chew through bed sheets and smash dishes. My bad eyes have lives of their own. 2 milky galaxies, 2 black bats, 2 yellow peonies thrusting their heads toward a burning sun. One of the nice things about writing persona poems is that you are able to escape the I a little bit. And for me, that allows me to see where my imagination is going to go in terms of thinking about Hanshan or envisioning what this world is like. Any of you guys fly fish out there? Yeah, not much. I'm still going to read this poem. This is called Outlier. So in the summertime, one of the things that I originally used persona poems for was I was really sad about a cat that was dying. And so I came up with persona poems as a way to talk about this dying cat in a different book called the Book of Ocho. And the persona of Hanshan came around originally in that book. And this is just the persona became a good way of thinking about life. During fly fishing season, when I was very tired and very cranky towards clients, I could pretend that I was Hanshan and get to say whatever I wanted, even though, I don't think I would have said these things really in regular life. Outlier. When I close my eyes to dream at night, I dream of people fishing. That was a big one, they say, turning to me. Sometimes all that matters is a few fish in the net. Sometimes just one big fish. How do you move so fast through currents, they ask. 10,000 hours. I have slept next to rivers more nights than I can recall. I have not slept at all. Sometimes nothing is good enough. Sometimes I have to be careful about receiving too much praise. Too many nights next door at the bar, too many orders of wings and beer. All the fish they lose, all the fish they catch, all the hours spent standing in rivers. When I close my eyes, how close we feel, how distant we become. And the last, I'm going to read 3 more poems. The last 3 poems, the book follows an arc from spring to wintertime, when Hanshan would come out of the mountains and sleep in town. This is called First Snow. Has anybody gotten a first snow yet?
Yeah.
You know, in Wallowa we haven't. I don't think, right? Pretty sure. It's pretty great. In the springtime, Wallowa is warmer earlier. In the wintertime, it takes a while for the snow to get there. Of course, we do have fog, which is definitely said in the last couple weeks. First snow. When gods are small, when gods are humble, when sunlight reaches the earth after days of rain, when flowers stand up straight again, and clouds don't wander lost along the edges of mountains. Have you remembered to stock the woodpile? Have you remembered extra candles, days when light is extinguished? Today's sun is not tomorrow's. Bit by bit, a few more animals begin to hibernate, crawl beneath the earth and disappear. Soon, the only animals left will be winter sweeping before it newly fallen snow, and sleep, which will come in fits and storms. What does Hanshan dream, if he remembers to dream at all? What will he call this long, tired forgetfulness? From spring to solstice, all the small and humble gods gather. When the world is easy, when the animals within us are still beautiful, and the earth opens up to welcome us home. One of the literary tropes throughout this book are a bunch of poems that start with your sentences, etc. So if I was Miss Fisher there, I would say your sentence is teaching. And it would start something like, in the morning, every morning, I wake up and go to school and greet the smiling faces of my kids, okay, as they stick their gum beneath the desk. And so there are all these poems in this book about your sentence. Your sentences. This is called your final sentence. Grace does not come easy, not from 4 months being immersed in rivers, or next door at the bar drinking Coors Light. Not 120 lonely rides home, or the entire lifespan of aspen leaf from green bud to yellow-brown carpet on forest floor. Han Shan walks 40 days and 40 nights in different directions, and ends up in the same place. None of them know how this happens. Here we are, says Han Shan, absolved of all our fish. Yes, says Han Shan, and a few golden stems of grass have shot their way out from winter's grasp like a rabbit out from under the talons of a hawk. But, adds Han Shan, isn't it winter we've been looking forward to all along? This is called Walking into Winter. How many of you guys like poetry out there? It's always something to ask about. Thank you for being likers of poetry. Walking into Winter. Tell me everything you know about bones as the snow accumulates and the mountains disappear from the steep-sided valley, where aspens rise like coral, black ravens, yellow leaves, and rigs slowly drive by in four-wheel drive, trailers empty or full of elk. This road where tires have churned thick mud which smells of cows and left the mohawk of white. Each step I walk over hoofprints in an ocean of sagebrush and scrub oak, my sacrament of love and fallen leaves, my sacrament of moving as slowly into the breath of snow and wind in my winter coat, as one who knows it is nearly time to say goodbye. Thank you.